All right, welcome. I believe this is week 5. Um, we're approaching week 5, and we're going to be talking about security measures, right? Malware, physical security, and all of these different things. Ways to dispose of data securely, even mail. The dumpster diving is a thing. Um, there used to be this building in Everett. It was such a mysterious building, but they had a barbed wire fence around their garbage dumpster, padlocks. I mean, it was like, and it's kind of a mystery what that building was all about too. Could have been a federal building. I think that was the rumor. But it was a cable company. It wasn't Xfinity. It was another one. They had optics. But to me, I'm like, they only rent part of this space. Who knows what's going on in the other part of that building? So just real quick, if we go into Cengage and we go to, all right, so we're down to 2 today, 3 including myself. It's fine. We're recording. I'm sure a lot of people will watch the playback. So we are going to focus on module 16 today. So I take it that you guys watch the videos and all of these things, right? Like if I were to click on this, let me see what kind of when you guys are preparing for the modules. Um, all right, let's see. Let's get into the content. And let's take a look at some of the flashcards. I think this will just warm us up. Oh, good. Awesome. This is nice. You have a routine. Um, wait, let's see. The modules are the videos are under where do you find yours? Okay. Yep. Nice. Um, let's do a few of the flashcards. Security fence. The name says it all, right? Was that IT 180? It's a good course. Ah, yep. So you get a good dosage of security concepts, right? Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it in person or is it like hybrid or online?
Usually it's a hybrid class, but because of Ryan's promotion, they ran out of instructors to teach it. So I believe Paul, I can't remember his last name, but Paul is teaching it, and it's 100% remote at this point because he's traveling while he's teaching the class.
Got it. That must have been a last minute decision. Um, I
Yeah,
think
I think
Ryan's,
our announcement came out, I think the first day of classes. So some of us were waiting outside the classroom for that to start without knowing he wasn't coming, you know.
oh wow. Okay. That that's hard. Um, and let me go back to what security fence. Oh well, you know what? I think I just screwed up the whole deck. Security fence, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. You know, data servers, data centers and stuff like that will have security fences. And a lot of people in IT, like cyber security, they learn how to pick locks. That's actually a thing. And one of those rooms, I think it's part of the club, but that's a thing. And there's a lot of lock picking sets in one of those main classrooms down in the IT in Shaska Hall, the bottom floor. Um, they also have some practice locks to work on picking, but some places there's competitions on picking locks, padlocks, regular door locks, and it's kind of just, something for fun. Um,
Is is that part of like a pen test or something? Like learning how to do penetration tests?
yeah, I think it falls under that category for sure. Um, because you're trying to you possess that skill so that in the event that you're trying to assess how good a system is and you're able to break into it, then who knows who else could do it. And maybe one way to break into something is picking a lock. Um, and yeah, I mean, and there's going to be all kinds of other things. Like if someone says, okay, well, we'll just use a biometric scan or something. Um, there's things for that too. So the RF frequencies can be like there's this like device I think it's called Flipper Zero or something where people can like open up garage doors and cars from different places. Um, so I don't know. But let's see, low level format. Hmm. A type of formatting usually done at the factory where sector marks are added to the platers of a magnetic hard drive. Interesting. I just realized I should put on my glasses for this. Okay. Triple A. Let's see. The three major methods used to secure a network and its resources. Authenticating, control access, authorizing controls what a computer can do on the network, and then accounting tracks what a user or computer has done on the network. Okay. And now I'm back at card one. Incident response is pretty standard. Yeah. Alarm system, server log, BOS. Mm-hmm. Evil twin. That's an interesting name. An attack in which a fraudulent Wi-Fi hotspot or access point is used to impersonate a legitimate website, network, FTP site, or a person in order to obtain private information. All right. I think that was a good amount. Let's jump into the slides for Module 16. And these slides are just like a summary of the book. Um, so we're going to be looking at um, explain how to secure resources on the network, detect, remove, and prevent malicious software, and also describe policies that address issues. Pretty straightforward. Let's see. I guess one thing we should know is that there's the physical security and access controls. These are the two types right here. Best practice for physical security used to protect buildings, parking lots, corporate campuses, or other locations include using security fences, bollards, using access control. I believe the bollard is like that. It's like some kind of pole or blockader that a car can't really ram into. Um, I know gas stations have those kind of devices where people can't run into they can't run into a gas station. Because that could be a way to break into it, ram your car into the wall. It's open, run in, grab things, and leave. Um, Here, using video surveillance, implementing metal detectors, pretty straightforward stuff that we normally are used to seeing. As far as the physical security, here we're focused on protecting data and computers include if the data or equipment is really private, keep it behind a locked door or under lock and key. Equipment locks, secure ports with port locks, using privacy screens, and also installing a theft prevention plate. And all these things have their own pros and cons. Um, all right, let's look at the AAA, which we learned has to do with authenticating, authorizing, and also accounting. Um, Most security measures enforce multi-factor authentication, which stands for there's going to be more than one factor or some kind of action to authenticate you. And so the different factors are could be a lot of things. Um, Password is one factor. Possession of a card, a token, a card, and even if you think about it, in like DMV, you're trying to get the Department of Motor Vehicles, they make you have multi-factor authentication when it's time for you to get a driver's license or a passport. And sometimes having a credit card with your name on it is considered a factor. Um, Having possessing something with your name on it, and I mean, it's not that strong of a factor, but it does add to a certain layer. So that the name on that card or the token or smart card has to match the name that you have and all that stuff as well. There's other things. Type in a certain way or a certain signature, biometric data. Um, there's the breakdown of tokens are used to restrict who can access a secure location. Um, Examples include key, smart card, key fob, biometric, digital certificates, authenticator apps. Here is a token, a security token, such as this key fob, is used to authenticate a user gaining access to a secured network. So you have to enter in the 6 digits, and it's only gonna like those 6 digits are only gonna be around for like 10 seconds. And you have to enter those in before they expire. Problem is if you lose that token, it could be a problem. Here's another setup. It's taking an image of someone's fingerprint, a biometric scan, and this controls the access of device. The problem is what if someone doesn't have fingers or they're disabled or something, right? Or, their hand has been in a fire or something. Um, I think that's why the face scan or the eye scan is even might be more powerful. But still, I mean, I guess your fingerprint doesn't change much. And technology has gotten so good that, you know, it can tell the difference between from fingerprint to fingerprint. All right, email filtering. This is a security feature that controls what someone is authorized to do on the job. Email filter filters out suspicious messages based on databases of known as scams, spammers, and malware. Incoming email is inspected for scams or spam that might trick an employee into introducing malware into the corporate network. Outgoing email from employees might be filtered for inappropriate content. Social engineering. We once did this. We once did a social engineering um, project in my IT 180 class. We set up a social, like a fake Instagram account or something, and it looks really real. Like, and then all of a sudden, someone has to just click on there, sign in, and then you get their access, password, and all that stuff goes over to a server or something where you have access to. It's an that attack vector, it works. You can tell there's a lot of people still trying to do it often. Um, Probably the better way to go about uh, getting someone's private information is to set up a keylogger. If you connect a keylogger between your computer and your keyboard, you're going to get way more information from that person. Now, some keyboards are Bluetooth, where, there is no wire to plug in. And I think that set the Bluetooth has secured certain systems from those wireless types of attacks and networks and stuff like that. I mean, you just have to do it another way. But here's one of the things is many organizations offer security awareness training, also known as anti-phishing training, to its employees to help them recognize common threats in social engineering situations. And ways to protect passwords include not giving it out, do not storing your password on a computer, and do not use the same password on more than one computer, network, application, or website. Now, I think we're guilty of this. Many people are probably guilty of this. It's just because it's just too difficult to like to have so many different passwords. I mean, it gets too cumbersome. I think at some point you're going to have to consider having a password manager, and then you can then even the password manager will suggest passwords to you. Google Chrome does it. Um, you just have to have sync turned on. You have to be authenticated, and anytime you create a login, Google Chrome could suggest a password for you to use, and it will store it for you. And anytime you're using the browser and you go to that website, that password will pop up again. It's pretty convenient. And someone might think, well, I don't trust the password manager, right? Doesn't someone have access to that? Like, who's to say that on their databases or their server, they don't have access to the information that's in there? And the answer is no, they don't. They actually do not. Nobody has access to it. It's encrypted, and the encryption that's used is pretty powerful. Only a quantum computer could crack it in a decent amount of time, and nobody's going to be using a quantum computer to crack your password. There's no reason for it, unless, of course, you have like trillions of dollars or something like that. It's just quantum computers aren't widespread right now. It's just not practical. And then even to set it up, even to know how to do that, it's all theory right now. To be able to construct a program that will brute force your password using a quantum computer, it's not obvious to be able to do something like that. But right now, it's safe. Everything is safe. And they talk about it too. If you are curious about the security of, you know, the password manager in Google Chrome, for example. There's a lot of things you can read about, and it'll explain it. There's also something called tailgating, and it occurs when an unauthorized person follows an employee through a secured entrance to a room or a building, or continues a Windows session after the user has stepped away. To prevent tailgating, do the following: sign out or lock the workstation, use a screensaver lock. And Windows does a good job of this. I know screensavers will activate automatically if you set them up. As far as signing out, whenever I step away from my machine, I always lock it. Control Alt Delete. And it just has to be a habit of yours. Under no circumstances should you ever um, leave your computer unlocked when you step away. It is that important to just have that as a habit. Even if you're among family or whoever, there are use cases. It's possible that um, things could go wrong by leaving it unlocked, even accidentally. So definitely get in the habit of that. And if you're working in IT, you want to always do that. Yeah, we talked about the dumpster diving thing. Social engineering and user education. Hackers might try to obtain information or trick people into giving info by using one of the following techniques: dumpster diving, phishing, spear phishing, spoofing. Um, Now, you should know the difference between fishing and spearfishing and also something called whaling. Whaling is when you're trying to catch a whale, not just a shark, but someone who has power. A phishing attack that targets a high profile employee. Um, that's the thing about hackers. They attack people who should not be attacked. Like on the day-to-day basis, they spend a lot of time trying to infiltrate the FBI, the CIA, NASA. They're always trying to do these things. And you would think that, wait, couldn't they get caught? No. All right. Um, Now, if they actually get in, yeah, they could get caught. There's ways to track and figure out who did what. But depending on their setup and even proxy server or some kind of, secure network, that it may not be possible to trace who's doing what. But yeah, phishing is a type of identity theft where a sender of an email scams you into responding with personal data. That's when you know it's time to change your email. When you start getting a lot of phishing attacks, that basically means your email address has been exposed and it's now a part of a list. It could be on the dark web. And not only do they have your email, they probably have your password as well. I think everybody's experienced this. I'm pretty sure, like everyone has experienced having an email and inside the email it's just corrupt. And it's just so much. Like I know Hotmail is the worst. They don't do a good job of filtering out those things. Gmail, you can kind of control it to an extent. But it's a huge problem. I think that the key though is actually having a new email address, sadly. Now you could clean things up and I mean some things just go straight to junk or spam, but sometimes there's important things that go there too. It's very frustrating. So here's a question. It says an employee uses a key fob to access corporate resources from their home office. What type of authentication are they using? I don't know if we've even talked about it all. The key fob is considered what? A soft token. So you possessing the key fob proves that you have something. The number showing on the key fob changes every 60 seconds and it is keyed in to the authentication system. So this would be considered a soft token. Here's the next step. Dealing with malicious software on personal computers. We got malicious software. Also, it's known as malware, and then something called grayware. Well, malware is unwanted programs that means harm and is transmitted to a computer without the user's knowledge. Grayware is an annoying and unwanted program that might or might not intend harm. Now, malware happens when you start to download a lot of things, clicking on ads and certain websites that might not be that great for you. Downloading things is the key to getting malware on your machine. You always got to be careful when you download something from the internet. It has to be official. And there's actually there are ways to check the integrity of what you've downloaded. There's a number of ways to do that. Um, Sometimes they they call it a checksum, and if the checksum matches to what it's supposed to be, then you have the right file. If it doesn't match, that means the file has been modified in some way, and it is not exactly the correct software. Even if one letter is off, one character is off, it would generate an entirely different um, shocko. So when you check the sum, yeah, it's a long drawn out process that, I don't think we do it here, but at some point, if it does come up, we'll probably have a lab or something on that. It could very well be an IT 180 actually. So here are some other concepts here. A virus, so knowing the difference between viruses, spyware, worms, trojans, and whatnot. A virus is basically a program that replicates itself by attaching itself to other programs. Spyware spies on a user and collects personal info. An example of spyware is a keylogger. That's what I was talking about earlier. It tracks all your keystrokes and can be used to steal identity card, credit card numbers, etc. Worms. A worm is a program that copies itself throughout a network or the internet without a host program. Trojans. A Trojan does not need a host program to work. It substitutes itself for a legitimate program. A Trojan is often downloaded from a website or an email attachment. There's more. Rootkits. A rootkit loads itself before the operating system boot is complete and can hide in boot managers, bootloader programs, or kernel mode device drivers. Boot sector virus. A boot sector virus infects the first sector on an MBR hard drive and can infect the partition table. Ransomware, many people have heard of this one, holds your computer system hostage until you pay. On path attack, the attacker intercepts communications between two parties and reads and or alters the contents of the message. This is also called a man in the middle. There's more. Zero-day attack. That's can happen when the hacker discovers a security hole in the software that is unknown to the developer, or a hacker takes advantage of a recently reported gap in software security before users apply patches. DOS attack overwhelms a computer network with requests or traffic until new connections can no longer be accepted. This is a way to take down machines on purpose. A distributed denial of service (DDoS) attack happens when multiple computers are involved in the attack. Zombies are botnets. A zombie is a computer that has been hacked. A botnet is an entire network of zombies. Um, Here, one more slide here. Take a look at these, the dictionary attack and rainbow attack. Let me see if I can pull up this. We can watch a clip of. Um, let's see here. So the dictionary attack, this is when you're trying to crack passwords, and there's dictionary files out there that has a lot of common passwords, and it just checks each one until one of them works. A dictionary attack is used to crack a long password by trying words in a dictionary. Rainbow tables contains a long list of plain text passwords and the password hash list after it is encrypted. Rainbow tables make cracking passwords faster than dictionary cracking or brute force cracking. Let's see if I can find this. Let's see. 1 second. Yeah, this is not the one, but 1 second. I think you guys would like this one. It's kind of relevant to what we've been talking about. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Uh, Maybe I should just check ChatGPT. ChatGPT is really good at that's a good use case for ChatGPT. I'm sure you guys have probably had some experience with. Let me see if this, if I get any luck on. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, it's called Algorithm. I think that's the name. I'm pretty sure that's the name. Let me see if it makes sense. I'll play a little bit of it. Let me see if I can open it up in my screen real quick. This is they talk about some of the concepts that we were just talking about here.
Good morning. I'm Agent Peterson, and this is Agent Wallace. Yeah, he's new, but he's learning, so cut him a little slack for now. Tell me your name. Your real name, for the record.
Charles Drake. What do you want from me?
What do we want? What do we want? You the motherfucker that likes to steal shit from the government, huh? Huh?
Not yet. Be patient. See what I mean? What do you do for a living, Charles?
Teach math. Berkeley.
Nice cover, asshole.
We'll just look at a little bit of this.
A month ago, I was a god. Most people have no idea what a hacker can do. I make the world you live in, and I can reshape that world if I feel like it. When I look around, I don't see borders, walls, or locks. I see puzzles, games that entertain me while I do bigger things. Things like breaking into the phone company to rewrite the code on their servers and give myself free unlimited service. Swapping out my pre-burned SIM cards every day at 6 p.m. is a small price to pay. I don't care about privacy, or social status, or accumulating stuff. I don't care about the law or who makes it. I live by one rule. Information should be free. And everything can be simplified, encoded, and understood as information. We call this the information age for a reason. Companies and governments don't get it, so they are powerless against me. You think there are rules? You treat computers like you do everything else, like it's an immutable fact of life. And because of that, your worldview is antiquated. Get ready for a serious paradigm shift. The geeks have inherited the Earth. The rest of you just don't know it yet. For your consideration, Exhibit A. I just hacked every computer within 20 feet of me. I own them now.
Thanks for coming. I think my wife is cheating on me.
So ditch her. California's a no-fault state. She gets half regardless.
I want proof.
What for? Just call it irreconcilable differences and bail.
I want proof for myself. I need to know.
What kind of proof? You want video of her playing another guy's skin flute? Because that's not what I do.
No. Look around. If you find anything, you send it to me. Either way, you still get paid.
That's the deal. You know my fee. Why would I hack all these computers, including the laptop of a man who just gave me $5 grand? I don't care what he does for a living. And if your wife finds out,
She won't. I understand the need for discretion. Mr.
It's all you. I collect computers. Most of them don't lead anywhere interesting, so I just add them to my botnet. A massive set of computers I use to do whatever I feel like doing at the time. Mostly to cover any trace of the big hacks that I do that might lead back to me. I can write the code I need to break into Dempsey's network. But he lives in a very expensive neighborhood. I can't just sit on his curb outside his house, brute forcing my way in. I need another can of worm.
How soon do you need it?
2 days?
Are you coming?
Hackers come in two basic models, coders and makers. Bitchan is a maker. She has a degree in electrical engineering. In other words, she's a lightning god, controlling and manipulating electricity to do her will. As a side job, she modifies gaming consoles, so they'll play copied discs or games from anywhere in the world. It's not to break the law. That isn't even a factor. She does it for the same reason I do. It's about information, and region encoding is just another puzzle blocking the way.
So, is this the gig that Decimate hooked you up with?
Yeah, it's residential. He lives in.
I don't know, take away from our whole class here, but and I could drop the link in the chat if anybody's interested in carrying on with this. What was interesting is how, you know, it's a whole community and it was categorized. So he went to her so she could make an attack so he can gain access to that gentleman's house. It's just the whole thing. It's called the Algorithm. It's on YouTube. I'll give you guys the link in the chat. It's actually pretty good show. They talk quite a lot about the concepts that we were talking about, social engineering, and all of these other concepts. But yeah, not much else really happening for this week. You know, spend some time with this module 16. They talk a lot about the attacks because in order to study, one of the rules with studying cybersecurity is that you have to first think like a hacker yourself. And there's even something called ethical hacking. And there's really not much difference between hacking and ethical hacking. They use the same strategies. It's just that one of them gets paid for it legally, and they have permission to pen test. And so, in order to work as a pen tester, I think you would have to consider yourself an ethical hacker, and there are certifications in that as well. And so in Module 16, they talk a lot about all of the different attack vectors, learning about cross-site scripting attacks, SQL injections, right? So insider threats, lack of user education, end-of-life operating systems. These are ways that people can become exploited. So an SQL injection is you're trying to gain unauthorization of a database by entering in commands into a database. So if they ask for username, you might be able to put a weird name in there that executes a command. It's been known to work. Cross-site scripting. So those are very common. There's even something called, there's a career called bug bounty. And I'll give you one of my websites where I've gone. Let me see if I can. There's a lot of different websites for bug bounty. One of the most popular ones is called HackerOne. HackerOne, and this is what people do. This is a whole career inside of here, inside of this website, where people work remotely. The top leaders are millionaires, so there's no ceiling. Now, bug bounty for me, I started to get more into it once AI became a thing, because the AI helped me. I used to get stuck quite a lot, but um, if you're interested in transitioning over to bug bounty hunting, HackerOne is considered the premium site. There's many, many others, but and if we log if I were to log in real quick, just to let me see. One second. Probably. Okay, I'm in. Um, they start off with opportunities. It's been a while since I've gone into this. Now some of them you don't want to go in thinking of getting rich. That's not what it's about. Not right now. There's levels to bug bounty hunting. You want to go in like, I just want to learn how to do this, how to submit a bug, even if it's $200. That's the mindset I think one should take. Because then you're not going to be looking at just the ones that pay the most. You'll be looking at ones that don't even pay at all. I don't have any programs right now. At one point, I was working on things. Let's see, is all my bookmarks expired? I do have some things. So there's like trip.com, for example. There's a website. Now, if I go in here, and this is where you would go to book an airline ticket or hotel. This site gets hacked a lot. And these are the number of hackers that have been paid by trip.com is $34. The minimum, $50. The max, 5,000. The response, people respond 69% of the time. The amount of bounties paid, 60. So out of these hackers, many of them are submitting multiple bugs. For every, like you might find one, but then you can divide it up by each time it works. And so they might submit like 10 bugs and they get paid each time. I once did this and AI helped me. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. I basically started to have a conversation with okay, so these are all the domains in scope. And when they say in scope, they mean you can hack these. And the wild card is anything with the domain .trip.com. The max severity is critical, it's eligible for money. It was last updated several years ago, and this is the domain that's open now. All of these are potential for payouts, but the way to go about this is to first just target one of them. And the burp suite is probably what you would do next. Now, if it for example, let's say I know we're running out of time here, so we're going to wrap it up. Well, we'll wrap it up here, but if I were to go inside ChatGPT and said, hey, I'm interested in bug bounty hunting on this particular site, give it some information, and then list all the domains and say which would be the top 2 or 3 domains which you focus in on. And the ChatGPT bot will tell you this, and this. And then you say, well, why? Why these and why not these? You have this kind of conversation. Now, as you're doing this process, you're learning and learning and learning about the process, because it actually it has a lot of information on how to submit the report, what to look for, And the truth is like you would think like, all right, well, there's probably nothing left. So many people have already gotten paid. No, that there are it's unlimited. The more you learn about it, the more you realize that um, it is something where you can continue to cash out. And there's new companies that post here all the time. And this is just one website. Um, but this goes along with what we were talking about as well. So you would actually um, attack the site. You gotta get the intel. It's a list of procedures and what you would want to do. Like if I were to type into chat, I I'm interested in HackerOne and attacking trip.com. There are several domains in scope. In what way should I proceed? We'll just say something random like this, right? First, review the policy. Like, what can you do? What can't you do? Set up your recon environment. All right. And there's a lot of other subdomains that are within scope that's not even posted. But because they said with the wildcard, star.trip.com is a part of the domain, you want to find all the subdomains. And the ones that you find using these programs, that may lead to other ones. Okay, I'm going to say thanks for the info. And that's how you can get started, guys. All right, so I'm going to shut it down here.